apologize in advance that you're reading a screen backwards, just to kind of explain my situation that I'm working with here. I am in Lab C, and the desktop actually controls the Smartboard that I wanted to be able to kind of model for you the act of getting up and using the Smartboard. So my laptop is sitting on a milk crate recording me on the Smartboard. So there's a variety of, I've got 3 screens here. So I apologize that it's backwards. What? Richard, yours looks correct? That's okay. Well, that's amazing. I'm glad. If yours is not correct, that's what the screen says. So if you have your Smartboard, if it's plugged in and functioning and you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to plug in your Smartboard. If you can think of a lesson that you might want to practice on, have a sample lesson ready. Go ahead and open Smart Notebook. That's the software we're going to be using. And then the last thing is make sure that you log into Frontline. These were added to Frontline this morning. I checked around 10 and they are functioning. So go ahead and enroll, that way you get your points. So this presentation is advanced Smartboard and recording. I hope I am advanced enough for you. So let me get my notes. We'll be good to go. Okay. So if you didn't come to the first session, we talked about, let me go there. Okay, fine. If you didn't come to the last session, maybe it's on the third one. There we go. Okay, I'm jumping around. I apologize. In the last session, we talked about just generic, how to get your Smartboard started and some Smartboard tools. So if at some point you don't know how to use some of these tools and you'd like me to come by, great. But we talked about shapes, uploading images, changing your background, using different pens and erasers beyond these just here, adding text, new slides, the rulers, the screen shades, all of these fun things. So if you would like me to go over those with you, just shoot me an email. Megan Bishop, you're still trying to get yours to watch. Okay. If you want, Megan, you can email us too. Crystal can't hear me. Can everyone else hear me? Okay, good. All right. Crystal, I don't know, maybe your volume's down or maybe the Rona is just out to get you. The virtual, I'm calling it the virtual Rona because that's just been our day. But this will be, it is recording, so, huh?
Looks like Kaylee's heading.
Okay, thank you, Kaylee.
No, I checked here
You're more
to
than
see if
welcome.
I got the.
We also talked about.
I got it. This says speakers 100%. I guess I could go here.
Hey, Crystal, while you're troubleshooting, could you please mute?
Oh, you think it might be the sound up there?
Plugged in.
This is here.
Is there sound plugged
Hey,
in?
girls, could you please mute Crystal while they're talking?
So it's coming in.
I see.
They probably can't hear you. I'll go let them know real quick.
It doesn't always.
Oh, great. Is it still Monday? Or is it Tuesday? I forgot. Okay. The other thing we talked about was actually the starting up of your physical Smartboard. So if for some reason your Smartboard doesn't activate, I have this file. It is actually linked now on the email that Mr. Ayers sent out. So this is just your Smartboard troubleshooting. I know they're all different, but this Smartboard in particular has the 4 markers, the 1 eraser, and it has the dongle. If that is what your Smartboard looks like, this file walks you through the process of plugging, unplugging, and syncing that dongle to your Smartboard so it works. So this is now on Mr. Ayers' email that he just sent out. So check that out. If you can't get it to work, email myself, Heather Stussman, Sarah Thomas, or Marcy Sandberg, and we'd be more than happy to get it up, or at least try to get it up and running for you. Sometimes they are wonky and we have to call tech in. So we'll get there. But what we're going to go over today, it's not that confusing. This is what we're going to do, I hope, today. So we're going to review the essentials of your Smartboard skills, which we just kind of did. But we're going to open, find, and modify an activity, lesson, or game using the Smart Activities templates, the Smart Gallery or the Smart Exchange. Those are some built-in fun tools that you can use. And then the last thing we'll talk about is how you can actually record and share your presentations using the Smartboards for your students who are learning remotely. So hopefully you'll take something away from this, and hopefully, like I said, I am as advanced enough that you need me to be. Also, while we're going, if you have something you want to add, please feel free to jump in and share that. We learned last time this really cool thing, that if you're working in Microsoft Office Word and you have a worksheet typed up, that you can click on File and Print. And there is actually a printer option that is print to your Smartboard, and it will pull up that whole worksheet on your Smartboard, which is a really nice tool. So I'm still learning something new, which is great. So, okay, the first thing we're going to do is insert items from your gallery. So I'm going to give you a minute to stop talking and let you, if you have Smart Notebook on your computer, to go ahead and open Smart Notebook on your computer. So on this desktop that I'm working with, Smart Notebook is right here on my home screen. Hopefully it's on your home screen too. So just take a minute to get it open. I know that kind of means you got to jump back and forth between tabs, and I apologize, but I will give you some time to get caught up. Oh, that poor clock. About 20 seconds and then we'll get going. If I am going too fast, just, send an angry message or tell Heather to throw something at me and I'll slow down because she's sitting back here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert items from your gallery. So I'm going to try and stand up here as much as I can, but like I said, I'm controlling it from the desktop. So if I disappear, I apologize. But to get to your gallery, you're going to go over here along your left-hand menu. There's what looks like a Polaroid picture, okay? And it's going to pop up something that looks like this, okay? And it should be set on my content the very first time you open it. Does that help, Leslie, if I turn it a little bit further? You guys are all like, nah. Hang on. Well, they're kind of a pain to see, so I will just try to describe them the best that I can.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, I can see them when I look at myself, so I almost wonder if the Smartboard itself is cutting them off, is what it looks like. The projector screen's not showing them.
Yeah, I see them. Okay.
Yeah. I will do my best to describe them for you. I'm sorry that they're a pain. Tech is just evil. Okay, so the very left-hand side, under the arrows, there's a page and there's something that looks like a Polaroid picture. If you click on that, it's going to pop up these options. You can insert pictures, you can insert activities, you can insert all kinds of things. So I'm going to start by going to a specific category. So if I click on Gallery Essentials, it'll then break it down by subject area. So I was playing around earlier, and I decided to go into the mathematics category. And if I scroll down and click on that, I have all these different tools that I can open. I can open shapes and patterns. I specifically opened statistics and probability. And then I went to dice. And I've got all these images of dice that I could use. So 4 is my favorite number. So I went with 4 and I drug that over. This one is not interactive. Like I can't click on it and roll it. There are some of these things where if you were to open it, you would click on it and it would roll. But I have an image now of a dice. Well, it says it's at 4, but so I can do content specific images which is really cool. I can also go back and if I minimize all those things, that way I can see my home screen again, I can click on the lesson activity toolkit. And let's say I want to insert a game. And of those particular games, I want to play a board game. And I want to play checkers. And that's going to give me 12 pictures. But I've also got notebook files and pages. And if I click on this checkers black and red, it's actually going to open an interactive game of checkers. Now, I know you can't play that. Your kids aren't here, which, stinks. But you could, if your kids were back, you could actually play these games with them, which is really cool. So that's a neat tool. Let's see what else. Oh, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize these again. That way I have everything open. The next one is your lesson activity examples. I can click on that. And then I feel like going to the activity builder. And specifically, I want to open notebook files and pages. And here I've got 19 interactive pages that I could use. So I'm going to select sorting number 2. And now it gives me a Venn diagram that I can fill out with my kids. So if I'm working remotely and I don't want to draw circles, I don't want to go to the images and try and find images and upload it, I've actually got a Venn diagram built in that I can then search. And I can either, if I have a live Google Meet with my kids, I can have them give me feedback and I can write it in, like cats are good and dogs are bad. And since I have the mic, I can say that because I'm right. I'm kidding. Or I could do this ahead of time and I could record it and then my kids could watch me going through that in my thought process. So those are some of the Smart Notebook tools. So what I want you to do is just for a few seconds, if you've got your Smart Notebook up, I want you to just kind of play around over here in this picture, which has your gallery, your toolkit, all these fun pictures. So just take a minute or two. Let's see if you can find something cool. I will check in with you in 2 minutes and I'll ask if anyone's found anything fun. We're in lab C, Heather. Oh. See, we've got Humpty Dumpty. He done did broke. That's sad. Looks like my poor husband. While you guys are playing, if you don't want this on your screen, I can either delete this whole slide or I can add a new slide. I can also clear out my slides. Unfortunately, some of these graphics haven't been updated in a while, so they may not be the prettiest. But if you ever wanted to see a roadrunner in your life, you've got one. Ooh, what's here for physics? That's not physics. No, it's physics. Some fission going on for physics. That's kind of cool. Give you 1 more minute and then I'll see if you guys have found anything fun. All right, so did any of you guys actually find anything fun that you want to share that was in the gallery? Leslie, we will get to recording. That's the second to next thing.
I found some fun 3D objects, like
Oh,
a castle that you can move around and look on the different sides, and also the dice that you can roll.
yes.
It's a 3D dice so that you could roll that. That could be a good thing for when you're playing games and trying to decide who goes first or whatnot.
Definitely. Very cool. Okay,
I made a guitar play.
you made a guitar play? That's fun. All right, so second thing, the Smart Exchange and add-ons. So these are things that other people have made and they've kind of offered them up to you. So if we go back, this little Polaroid picture on the left, and you may have to clear out and minimize all of the buttons you pushed, which is kind of a pain. Especially if it doesn't want to work like mine. Okay, you're gonna click on the, let me make sure I do it right, the Smart Exchange. So that's gonna open this little window here, and it's gonna say find a resource, and it's gonna open a web browser, which changed and updated yesterday, which is fun. So what this has, yeah, I know, right? Are all of these online resources. It doesn't want to scroll. That you can now upload yourself or share from other people. Some of them are old. There used to be a way to search by standards. This has updated since then, but I can scroll down and I can select what grades I want. So I'm going to do 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to select English Language Arts. And I'm going to search. And there is a virtual field trip to Shakespeare's England. Now then I could go through and I could download it and it would then open and be interactive on my own smart notebook. But please don't just try and teach one of these on the fly. I did that my first year of teaching and got a very bad review from my principal. Some of them are full of errors. But what's cool, and the reason I like doing that, is people have found ways to make these interactive and make them into games that you may not have thought of. So it's kind of fun to look at those and try and figure out how you could play with them. Also, on the left menu, at the very bottom, you have a puzzle piece. No, I was kidding, it's not working. We'll come to that. This puzzle piece, okay? This puzzle piece is really cool. I'm not sure why it's not showing up over here. It changes. I apologize. But the puzzle piece is cool because it's going to give you some additional things that you can insert. So I think specifically like my math teachers, you've got graphs, you've got symbols. You can actually write an equation and then insert it. So if you're wanting to do homework, if you're wanting to model to your students how to solve an equation, you can actually type it out on your Smartboard and work that way. Yeah, whatever. And then there's also this little dude. I call him the alien. I'm not sure why, but he's going to open up your activities. So really quickly, find the little alien on the top and open your activities. And it should pop up a screen like this, where you've got the ability to build some interactive activities. So you've got game shows, some matching games. Again, this is something that you don't have kids here right now, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but there's the monster quiz. And what happens is I can build a quiz. I'm going to do multiple choice. And this is really cheesy, but I like cheesy. I'm going to insert all my questions. And then when I would be done, I would click next. And what happens is it will come up with a screen with a code. And the students, you then send them that code and they play it. So it's just like a built-in version of Quizlet Live. So they add the code, they play, only instead of trying to race in teams, they're racing to hatch their monster in teams, which is the most ridiculously cheesy thing in the world. And I'll show that to you guys later if you want, but like I said, the kids aren't really here and it's cheesy, so I won't do that now. But before we move on to that last step of recording, take 2 more minutes and either go back over here to the picture and explore the Smart Exchange, or play with these tools. And if you want to, you can try and build an activity. And then I'll check back in with you in 2 more minutes.
Honestly, the monster thing.
Oh, it's right here, the monster quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see what that does.
It's fun. Let's see if I can. And then, oh, hang on, I had a question. You can change, like, you can select which one is right or which one's wrong. And then it inserts the screen where the kids would then play. And you would click start. And the students would then insert that class ID. They'd go to hellosmart.com. And they can do it without making an account, which is nice. They just join as a guest, they insert that class ID. And then once the students have logged on, if there's lots of students, I can sort them into groups. And then they rush to hatch their little monster.
All right, let me try this.
It's ridiculously adorable.
Hey, Vicky, can you like bookmark this kind of stuff so that you don't have to search for it every time? It just kind of comes up in your saved things as your resources?
I don't think so. Not that I've learned anyway.
Okay.
Write it down as a question.
Yeah. Heather's scribing. We'll find out. We're learning new things as we go. It's quite the excitement. All right.
So I had to join as a guest.
Yeah. That's what I did. That way I didn't log in.
Okay, class ID.
And you have to put the space in or it doesn't work.
Space.
And this is something that you could do virtually if you wanted to, because you would be here and your kids would be there.
And you had a space to it.
As I did when I tried it.
D. Finney.
That's me. So anyone find anything fun in the exchange or the games that they want to share before we move on? Anyone just want to go home and eat a bunch of chocolate after the first 2 days? Yeah, okay.
Waiting for teacher to assign teams.
And then you would go through and you would play. And as you answer your questions, you hatch your little monster. It's the most cheesy, ridiculous thing in the world. Okay, so here's the part I know why you all really came. You guys want to know about how we're going to record and reach kids at home. So there's a lot of options that you can do here. The first option is to use an external recording software. So let's say you're not at school. So back in March and April when we were sent home and we weren't supposed to be in the buildings, you didn't have your Smartboard with you, okay? So you went home and you had to adapt, you had to modify, work as you go. And you might have logged into Loom. I'm talking about Loom today as a screencasting software because Loom is the one that is currently free for educators. They did this at the end of the year last year, made it free for everyone. You have to go to their webpage and request an account, and then they approve it. We're going to be doing a different session on nothing but Loom later this week, next week?
I think this week.
Okay, so later this week. So be looking for that. But once you make your Loom account, you can record this. Now here are the pros and the cons. Loom is, if you're using Loom, It's accessible at home because what you can do is record on your computer, and I'll show that in a second. It's also nice because you're gonna be using probably your built-in microphone. So right now, I know I've got 300 screens, but if I were at home doing this, I would have my smart notebook pulled up on my computer, and I would be just writing on the touch screen of my computer and using the built-in microphone. So it's kind of concise. Also, when you're using these outside recording softwares, some of them have built-in editing capabilities. So you can edit your recording as you go. The con, though, is what people have seen is when you use your screen and with Loom, if you're at home, you don't have the physical smartboard, there's a lag. I've been told that when you're writing on your computer touch screen, it doesn't record, it kind of loses its gist sometimes. And so as a result of that, people have gone out and just purchased a fancy stylus to help. Sarah Thomas gave me the name of a stylus. I've linked it here. This is a $50 stylus pen. But the benefit to that is you can actually sync it to your computer and it works perfectly well. But if I were going to do this, what I would do, and I'm sorry you can't see me, but you can see the screen, is I'm pretending that this is my touchscreen laptop. I would go out, I would buy my stylus,
I forgot about this meeting.
and then I would come over here to Loom, and I would have to get my Loom account. So I already have a Loom account, so I'm going to sign in. I sign in with Google. You see my horrible picture there. And then I would start a new video. Now this laptop or the desktop that you're watching doesn't have a camera built into it, so I can't do the outside camera, but I would record my screen. I would click full desktop, and I would start recording. And it would kind of show. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click cancel so I don't break the Wi-Fi because it would throw a fit. But what I would then do is I would come over here to my smart notebook, and let's say that I'm working on math problems in my smart notebook. I would then come over here, I would select the pen, and I would do it manually. And I would choose probably just a regular pen for this purpose, not something fancy. I would not freeze my computer, which just happened. You're gonna pretend my computer's not frozen. It's gonna work. And I would take my pen or my stylus and I would actually write this out on the touchscreen of my laptop, okay? That is one way that you can use Smart Notebook to record. You use an outside recording software and you actually touch the physical screen of your computer with either your finger or your stylus. That works, but it does sometimes have a lag. And now I'm going to stand here awkwardly for about a minute until it finishes being frozen. It will finish. I promise. It did this last time.
Do you want to talk about how to check for updates?
Ooh, we can do that.
Okay, while Finney's waiting for her, sorry, there's echo going on. While Finney's waiting for her computer to unfreeze, you can check for your updates, Leslie, and if anybody else needs to check your updates. If you go to the bottom right corner of your screen, like by the time and date, you should have a blue icon with a red like X in it, red dot in it. Do you see that, Leslie? Okay. If you go to your start menu on the opposite side of the screen, the Windows symbol, and scroll down to Smart Technologies. Do you see that? And then go to Smart Product Update. It should, okay. And it does show that it's up to date. If it is, you'll get a message, a pop-up box that says your software's up to date. Sarah, do you mind popping down to Leslie?
Yes.
Okay. Sarah's on her way. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right.
So if it says manage, then we should press that and it'll update it.
I'm sorry,
I didn't catch that, Crystal.
I said if it says activate, under activation, if it says manage, should we press that so that it would update?
If it says what? Damaged?
No,
Oh, man.
manage. Yeah. I have most of them are like shaded out where it says update, and then I have two that are not shaded out. Should I press those to update them?
Does me like this one does? I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll pop down after this session.
Okay, I won't
Okay.
press anything then until you come. Thanks.
Don't touch anything. Okay. So here's the other option. I'm sorry that my computer freezes. There's something with that desktop that doesn't like the markers. But the other option, if you want to record your screen and you don't want to write on your actual touch screen, which can kind of be a pain, if we're able to be in here, we might as well use this thing, okay? So you can actually write on this Smartboard and it will record as you go, which is really cool. So here's your pros and cons. It's the physical board, that's a pro, so you have more actual space to work with. You have all the fancy pens and markers that keep freezing my computer, but that's the boring desktop, not the laptop. There's typically not a lag in the actual video that is produced. Here's the cons though. This thing doesn't have a microphone. So I have been working with a Snowball, which we have in the library. We can check out to you. It picks up the mic really good. We are also looking into ordering some additional microphones for this purpose. If you have a pair of wireless headphones that have a microphone built in, you can sync that up too and it will work. But you'll have to have some kind of microphone. Now, if you're in a classroom where maybe you have an extra computer, maybe your computer, if you don't care about seeing yourself, you just want to record what you're writing, you can take your computer and set it like right next to the board and see if its internal microphone will pick it up, but then you wouldn't be able to see yourself. And that's the next con. How do you see yourself? If that's not an issue, if you just want the kids to see and hear you, or see the words and hear you talking, that's great. But if you want to see yourself, you have to set up some kind of contraption like I've got here with two computers and an external mic. Also, there's no editing capabilities in the Smart Recorder, just a picture. Now, if you're an overachiever and you want to download and pay for a software like Camtasia, you can upload that file into it and edit it. It's just not built into it. So the way this thing works, so let's say when I taught 8th grade English, I did a horrible lesson on Plot Mountain, and I'm going to embarrass myself on purpose here. So what I would do if I wanted my kids to see Plot Mountain, my bad, is I would launch the recorder. There's two ways to do it. Over here, you can launch a new recording. You just click new recording, and then you tell it to stop recording when you're done. Also, a fun thing that you can do, if you're not in Smart Notebook, but you're using the Smart Board, you can actually record anywhere. Down here in this bottom right corner, your Smart Tools, the Smart Recorder is second from the top, and it pops up a little window. So I could actually record myself walking through a web page that I found, and I could explain the credibility or the uncredibility of that source. So there's different options that you can use. But I'm going to go ahead and start recording. It's going to start counting. That way I know it's recording. I'm going to minimize it so I'm not looking at it. And I'm going to pray that this works and not freezes. But when I taught Plot Mountain, I used to do this ridiculous little song where I would make all my kids stand up and sing it with me, and they hated me. So I would write that it's the exposition, and then I would say, the exposition is the introduction where you learn about the characters and the setting. And I was always that cheesy. Actually, I was typically more over the top cheesy, and they all hated me. But I would go through the whole process, and what's cool is as I'm doing this, I can record, I can write rising action. and I can go through it. And then if for some wacky reason I decide that I don't feel like teaching English anymore, maybe I want to be a math teacher because I can do that. I could come over here and I can find the easiest math problem I can find, which is this one, 74 minus 24. And I can actually write it out. Now, if I have math problems where I have to do my thinking, that would be even better because I can process it all out. And then all I have to do is I can pause it if I have a brain fart and I forgot how to subtract. And then I can actually click stop. Now, when I stop, this window is going to pop up and it's going to save as a Windows media file. I'm going to tell it I want it to save on my desktop. It's dated and time-stamped, and then I'll save it and it's going to capture it. I'm hoping that this will go fast enough that you'll get to see it. Okay, so let's see if this breaks the computer. So you can kind of see how it works. Now, you're not going to be able to hear it because I'm connected to a really wonky 3-computer system. But when I did this by myself, just me and the laptop, I could hear myself just fine plugged into the Snowball, which is a professional quality speaker. But you can see how I'm able to walk through it and write on the Smartboard. You don't get to see me, but you can see me, you can see my thoughts, I guess, on the board, which is to me the important part. So that is recording. Is there anyone who knows a better way, a simpler way, a different way that they'd like to share? Oh, good Lord. Tommy, please don't ask your nephew about that lesson. I hope he doesn't remember it.
That streamers use called OBR.
Mm-hmm.
That's free for anybody that they use for like YouTube streamers and Twitch streamers. That allows you to, if you have a green screen, you can actually have your picture and stuff somewhere on here, so you could actually be there. And then if you had like a stylus, then you can show your computer screen and stuff like that in the background, and it's just kind of a seamless. You're there talking about and able to point out and draw and do whatever you want to on that at the same time.
Right. Well, we have a green screen too.
Yeah.
In the back. So maybe we could try that sometime. Experiment with it. That's cool. Anyone else have any questions? We may not have the answer, but we have a team of people who will do our best to find it out.
So the Snowball will plug into our laptops?
Mm-hmm. It is a USB port plug-in.
Okay.
Yep. This one's bright orange. And we're looking at getting more, either Snowballs or something, because we know you guys are going to need resources to record.
So since they're not going to see us, if we could put figures on the Smartboard from our resources of pictures to make it look like two people were having a conversation. I'm thinking in Spanish, like we want to have two people to have a conversation, so we could have pictures on the Smartboard.
Yeah. So in the gallery, I can actually come over here and I can search. And if I search people, I've got 175 pictures. And they're not going to be the best quality. Smartboard hasn't updated these pictures in a long time. I mean, you could put Bill Clinton having a conversation with Benjamin Harrison II, or Benjamin Harrison II. That would be brilliant. But if these pictures aren't what you're wanting, or if you have other better ones, there's a monster shrugging. Maybe that. Or it's just a regular shrug. I don't know. But you can insert pictures. If you have a picture from the web page or something, you can do that. But yeah.
So just like printing, like we did earlier, like in the last session where you said you could print, so you could print the pictures you want.
Or you could come up here to insert and actually just insert a picture from a file too.
Huh.
Now, I lost my train of thought. It was a good one.
come back.
I'm sure it will. Oh, if you do want to see yourself, I mean, we could try to set up something like I've got going on. Like I said, I've got, a camera, or your computer is recording you and you have a separate computer running the Smartboard. So you can do that. It's just sometimes you get confused which computer you're talking to and what's controlling what. So it's just a matter of what you think. I mean, at the beginning, it might be important for you for them to see you and see you working. But then as they know you, it may just be you doing the work and then walking it through, or maybe a mix of both. So. Any other questions, thoughts, brutal feedback? It's almost 3. You guys are done for the day. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for coming. If you want to know anything more, there is a trainings website you can go to, training.smarttech.com. You have to make an account, but it's free. I just signed in with my Google. You can email us too. And then if you feel so inclined, you're more than welcome to do a quick review of today's session. So it's just 3 questions, and I will probably email that to you if I've got a list of you. So awesome. Well, if that's it, thanks for coming.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Hope your husband will be better soon.
Yes. All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Board, and it
Thank
doesn't
you.
look like I have all the pieces necessary to get it working.